officially confers military and diplomatic privileges on the countries, which is currently 18 around the world, that are so designated, albeit without any formal security guarantees.
By undertaking this state visit, we will have the opportunity to discuss and to have a conversation about building global partnership and leadership around the issues that pose challenges.
Kenya will become the first sub-Saharan African nation on the list. Meanwhile, a first batch of Kenyan police is expected to make the journey to the Haitian capital, Port-au-Prince, this week, despite a fresh court challenge in Nairobi against the development. Comforts, Fashion, NTA News.
Now to the story on Muhammad Idris Deby Itno, who has been sworn in as the new democratically elected president of the Chad Republic, promising that the return to constitutional normality will open the way to a better future for the country. President Bola Tinubu was among several African leaders who attended the inauguration of the 7th Chadian president. State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab reports.
After being the head of the Transitional Council for more than 3 years, Muhammad Idris Deby Itno is now transiting into a proper democratic leader of Chad. His father, former President Idris Deby Itno, paid the supreme price in action while defending his country against non-state actors in 2021. And on this occasion, President Bola Tinubu was one of the special guests as Deby took over the affairs of the 5th largest African country before members of the Constitutional Council. Apparently, the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Governments values the partnership of one of Nigeria's neighbors in times of insecurity in the Lake Chad Basin. The new Chadian president was also conscious of this as he assured that his country will remain vigilant and united with other countries will include issues related to socio-economic development, with 70% of public spending to be devoted to improving access to education, water, health, energy and food security. He also promised to inject a real dose of modernization into agricultural and mining sectors.
The power of the vote. So a vote for Labour is a vote to stop the chaos.
Explaining why economic stability was the first of his 6 priorities in government, Sir Keir Starmer said mini budget. He refers to the government's ambition to abolish national insurance for workers, which is going to cost a reasonable estimate of £46 billion. But the Conservatives have been cleared. They do not expect it to be able to abolish national insurance before at least 2030, when the economy has grown by enough to make it affordable. Were Labour to win the election, Starmer will become Britain's 6th Prime Minister in 8 years, the first time that has happened since 1830s. Comforts, Fashion, NTA News.
At least 9 people, including a child, died after strong wind caused a stage in northern Mexico to collapse during a presidential candidate George Alvarez Maynard's campaign rally. Earlier, Mexico's meteorological service had warned of heavy rain, wind gusts of up to 70 kilometers per hour and possible tornadoes. Comfort Fashion once more reports.
An election rally in northern Mexico descended into tragedy after a gust of wind sent the stage careening into the crowd on Wednesday night and killing at least 50 other people were injured in the accident, some seriously, according to Nuevo Leon Governor Samuel Garcia. Candidates for the centrist party at the Senate and local level also participated. The two presidential candidates expressed solidarity with those affected, and main opposition presidential candidates, Sochito Garvez, offered condolences and prayers to the families of those killed and wished speedy recovery to all the injured. On June 2nd, Mexicans will vote for a new president, as well as members of Congress, several state governors, and local officials. Comforts Fashim, NTA News.
Journalists and other media practitioners on gender equality and women empowerment. It is an online course organized by the Italian Radio and Television, RAI, and the African Union of Broadcasting, AUB. The course commenced with a session on international regulatory framework and European initiatives on gender equality. Facilitators shared experiences on progress made in the European community, especially in the media sector, to give women equal opportunity to work, grow and lead like their male counterparts, with legal instruments acting as safeguards for them. The training delved into national experiences in Italy, Georgia and Cameroon, highlighting the steps taken so far in providing safe work environment for women and giving them points of reference to address gender-based issues like sexual harassment. The session addressed equal pay for women, maternity safeguard plans at the workplace, positive portrayal of women in the media, stereotypes, and encouraged women to take bold steps by getting into professions and practices that seem like exclusive reserve for the men.
Coordinates the EBO members.
Another important element of the Audiovisual Media Services Directive is its media literacy component, and member states are required.
Life will get better for Nigerians under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Another word of encouragement and assurance from the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, as ministerial press briefing commenced ahead of the first anniversary of the current administration. Salihu Gwanara reports.
Presentation of scorecards by the ministers under the Renewed Hope government is a major activity to mark the first-year anniversary of the current administration. It is also to amplify the activities of the government in line with the first pillar of the Ministry of Information and National Orientation.
We have already started laying the solid and enduring foundation over the last 12 months. Landmark initiatives like the Consumer Credit Corporation, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, Presidential Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas, the 200 billion naira Presidential Grant and Loan Scheme.
Many, including the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination and Head Central Delivery Coordination Unit, Hadiza Bala Osman. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The federal government says it is working on transforming and repositioning the Nigerian youth to thrive and catalyze economic development to reduce youth unemployment rates and increase youths with global markets demand skills. Minister of Youth Development Jamila Ibrahim stated this at the ministerial sectoral briefing to mark the first anniversary of the present administration in Abuja. Olainka Ojo was there.
Tell the story of what we have done so far and to fulfill our pledges and promises.
Even though the Youth Ministry is mandated to formulate, implement, monitor and evaluate policies and programs that promote youth development, wealth creation and youth empowerment, the ultimate goal of empowering young Nigerians is the capacity of the NYSC to empower youth. In agriculture, vocational skills, technology, Ibrahim noted that the federal government has approved the sum of 110 billion naira capital for startups as well as early growth stage businesses via the restructured Nigerian Youth Investment Fund.
The initial 2024 appropriation is 110 billion for immediate release, and in the coming weeks, disbursements will recommence.
with the presidential initiative on youth clusters in agriculture, manufacturing and ICT. She added that a review and expansion of the national youth policy to include climate change, blue economy, mental health and migration will kick off soon. Olainka Ojo.
Nigerians, it is a good thing to be Nigerian. Good news! The Office of the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is organizing the National Fabric Competition, the hashtag One Nigeria Unity Fabric Competition. The aim is to create a fabric design that would be indigenous to Nigeria, showcasing our culture and unity. This competition is looking out for creativity, concept, and the message of unity. Open to Nigerian youths, both male and female, between the ages of 15 and 25 years. And guess what? You can apply wherever you are in the world as long as you are Nigerian. The winner of this competition goes home with
considered for enactment. Majority Leader Lawal Hussein said the amendment becomes necessary to restore and preserve the traditional values and morals of the historical Kano Emirate, which was haphazardly distorted by
preserve and protect the Kano Emirate system as its history. When these 5 Emirates are established or are found, there should be other great towns that cannot be metropolitan to avoid migration from the rural areas to the Kano city. But I believe everybody here can bear witness that we have not realized any meaningful development as a result of creating these 5 Emirates.
After consideration at the Committee of the Whole, Order 7, Rule 6A was suspended to allow for third reading and subsequent passage.
A bill for a law to provide the whole of Kano State Emirate Council Law 2019 for 2025 AH, dated 5 December 20,
and a desire to move Nigeria forward.
Today we are taking our turn. Is this very important at this particular juncture in our national life? What value would it add to us as a nation?
People are discussing nanotechnology, Internet of Things. We are still discussing national anthem.
We keep on doing one national anthem and we have not been adhering faithfully to it. For me, there is a need for us to have an alternative.
Those in support of this motion say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The bill for an act of God of national anthem of Nigeria formulated after third reading.
Thank you, Clerk. Bill read the third time and pass.
The former national anthem, Nigeria We Hail Thee.
Beyond land restoration and climate-smart investment is agriculture, water, and the people. Putting smiles on the faces and supporting communities through value addition meant more to the people of Akwanga and Fulani communities in Nasarawa State as they roll out the drums while receiving the World Bank and AgriSel team on an implementation support mission to Nasarawa State to assess and ascertain.
Join me in ensuring the investor, the World Bank, sees this investment running and affecting people because it's about the beneficiaries and the livelihood.
To support you.
This laudable, beautiful, gigantic and powerful project improve the livelihood of the benefiting communities tremendously.
The project, implemented by the federal government and supervised by the Ministry of Environment aside restoring degraded lands, has provided solar-powered boreholes, street lights, and modern farming techniques to communities around here. As Akwanga Traditional Council leaders confer on the National Project Coordinator and Tax Team Leader of AgriSel, they are reminded of the need to extend more impactful projects beyond Akwanga and Doma so that more communities can benefit. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
That's the end of the news. Taiwo Ozoma has been on sign language. I'm Nancy Godiangani, thanking you for watching.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you.
To many Nigerians, this sounds like one of those few agencies that they would love to actually. There must always be a reason for establishing a government institution. Nigerians would love to know why the Directorate of Technical Aid Corps was established.
Well, I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. And I am also, the corps is called Nigeria Technical Aid Corps. And we have a board, and the board is called the Directorate, about 35 years today, and cover all African countries, the Caribbean, and the Pacific. If you look at it very well, you will see that all these countries this agency, the target is for us to reach out to these countries so that we will create a better relationship, we will create friendship, etc.
Okay.
And there is so much to achieve through this foreign policy objective that was introduced in 1987. And maybe you can ask your question before.
Yes, I am very eager to ask you one very important question. I feel you just made mention of.
Yes, what we mean by soft power diplomacy is engaging other countries through polite means, through diplomatic means, through support, either in terms of technical aid or in terms of other. So that our citizens can freely go around.
In other words, I will also describe it as an economic diplomacy.
Technical aid, and you impact in the lives of citizens of your sister and brother countries. You cannot quantify that only in naira and kobo or in dollar.
Definitely.
The doctors, the nurses. So we are not sending people from another planet. They are Nigerians that go out there to give services. So any factory, we find most of them, after their 2-year service, are also engaged by those countries because of their resource.
Why the emphasis on Caribbeans and African countries when we have advanced democracies like the US, like Germany and other countries? Are you not confident of your professionalism or the capacity of your technical aid to actually reach out to those countries?
Yeah, you know, first of all, you say charity begins at home. So the first target is now the country will also do their own due diligence to make sure that this is what they need.
Those artisans being sent as
yeah, so many areas like
Sponsored by Techno. Stop.